Hi everybody, I'm Nilo Tabrizy. I'm a video journalist for the New York Times, and we are here at Gitano Tulum, just across the street from Tulum Beach right now in Mexico, and we are here to do a Mezcal tasting. So if you guys have any questions or want to know more about Mezcal, put it in the comments and I'll ask them your questions. All right, so do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. Hi, I'm Maria. I'm from Argentina. I've been working in Gitano Tulum for 3 years. We are dinner and dancing, and we specialize ourselves in mezcal and mezcal cocktails.
Very cool. So let's start with the first question. What is the difference between mezcal and tequila?
Well, I would say which is the only similarity. They come from the same family of plants. They are called agaves. But tequila can only be done with one type of agave called agave blue tequilana that grows in Jalisco. And mezcal, by name definition, named mezcal, can be made in 7 different states in Mexico, and the main state producer is Oaxaca. Mezcal is an absolutely organic artisanal beverage, and it's one of the most complexes as well. Why? Because every different type of agave takes different amount of times to be ready. That time can be from 7 to 30 years. And there are absolutely no additives put during the process or during the grow. The way it's cooked is in a barbecue. That's why all the flavors from the soil, from the plant, are kept in the plant. And then that plant is milled and it goes to a fermentation with no yeast added. Every batch of mezcal is completely different, even if it's the same type of plants. Why? Because of this. It depends on how many water the plant received. It depends on how was the weather when it was fermented, so what yeast came. It depends on the water that was used. It depends on where it was fermented or where it was processed as well. So every single batch of mezcal, it's a work of arts. For example, you see here, every artisanal bottle has to be signed by the maestro mezcalillero, which is the person that produced it. For us, they are artists. They are persons that put their soul in this from generation to generation. And here we can see the number of the batch and the number of the bottle. This assures us that this is a traditional, artisanal-made mezcal. So what we are going to do now is try different types of agaves with Nilo and check out the differences. What do you think?
So I'm curious. I mean, maybe it's tough for you, but is there a region of Mexico that produces maybe your favorite kind of mezcal?
Well, yes. My favorite type is produced in the region of Tlacolula in the state of Oaxaca. They have an amazing source of water, and my favorite mezcal is produced in a little village called San Luis del Rio. It's a 400 to, I don't know, maybe it's a 700 village people now. They're amazing persons. The way they work, the way they treat the plants, the way they are all into the process is amazing. It's an experience that if you can ever have, I recommend you to have. It's amazing. Like really, it's pure art and pure Mexico essence put into a beverage. That's why we are always trying to encourage people to be very, very respectful to what they're drinking, because there will never be, again, a bottle like this, for example. This batch is unique. For example, this mezcal, it's a mezcal infused with Damiana. Damiana is a plant that grows all over America, and it has aphrodisiac properties. It's been used for medicinal uses for a long, long time by different people. Unfortunately, some types of agaves, especially the ones that take longer to grow, like the Tepeztate, this plant, for example, takes 30 years to be ready to harvest, and they are wild. You cannot cultivate them. So imagine how many years it takes to make a batch. It's a lot of time. So drinking this and not being conscious that what you are having is the wisdom of the soil and the plants put into a liquor, it's a pity, because these are like kind of endangered species. I'm for sure in about 10 years having a bottle of Tepeztate or having a bottle of Tobala in your house is not going to be possible.
So we have a lot of people watching right now. Yay, which is very cool. So Mary Sinagon says watching from the Philippines, so that's awesome. Thanks for watching us. So if anyone else has any questions about the Mezcal tasting we're about to do, just any life questions at all, maybe Maria can answer them for you. So let's do it. What's the first one that we are going to taste together?
Okay. Can we choose with the public?
Oh, yes. So you guys watching, let us know. Is there a mezcal that you want us to taste first? So here are the bottles. We're going to show them to you. So if you maybe want to shout out the color that you see or, the name of the label, let us know which one, and we will take a look in the comments and see what you're saying. Okay, so there's no comments rolling in yet. Oh, actually, a good question from Bandy Holden asked, what about the worm? Is there a such thing as a worm?
Well, the worm is something that it's added after, and it was when mezcal wasn't like on the beginnings when it was all the tequila boom. Mezcal was taken like a beverage of the poor, like all these beautiful artisanal goods that it has. It wasn't seen in a good way, And the worm was something like for the tourists, let's say. It was like the beverage with the worm. Actually, a good mezcal shouldn't have a worm, so avoid the worm because basically what it does, it alters the natural flavor of the mezcal.
Cool. So we finally have people rolling in telling us which mezcal to taste first. So lots of people, including Miles Matias, says Gem and Bolt. So let's go for that.
Perfect. So this mezcal, this brand was created by two amazing women. They were born in Virginia, and they started with this brand about 6 years ago. They are very conscious people, and what they did is they infused the mezcal with an herb, as I said, called Damiana. So this is a mezcal made with espadín, which is the most common agave used. Why is the most common agave used? Because it was domesticated, because it takes the lowest time to grow. It takes 7 years to grow, which for mezcal is a very little time, but for us humans is not. And if you have a few gem and balls, you for sure will have this little hot spiritual dizziness, Like you can really feel the herb. It's super feminine. So we are puring it on jicaras.
Do you mind moving a candle on this side too so people can get the full... So we can have the full view. Okay. Sorry, it's a little dark. Do you think someone can bring us a couple more? Is that okay? Dora Medina Flag says, I've been there, so she's been to Gitano before. Hey. Welcome back, Dora.
Welcome back. So these are our beautiful bartenders, amazing mixologists, Carla and Ruby.
Hello.
And they're lighting up the place as usual.
Cool. Do you mind putting one here too? Sorry.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are enjoying our mezcal by candlelight. It's very romantic. So the audience has weighed in. You guys asked us to try Gem and Bolt first.
Okay.
So let's see.
So this is an espadín infused with Damiana. The alcohol volume is 45%. It's very, very beautiful. One of the lemmas of this brand is manifest with precision. And plants and arts heal. So this is like kind of a conscious mezcal. And they are very, very dear in a lot of parts of the world.
All right.
So who's going to drink? Because I can't.
Okay, so I can. Hold on one second.
I can hold that for you.
All right. All right, here I go.
So tell me what you feel, Nilo. You have to put a little bit of air in your mouth. There you go.
Okay, let me set this down. Sorry, I'm also holding the small microphone in my hand.
I can do it for you.
So, okay, I've had maybe one mezcal tasting in my life. Is there any specific flavors that I'm looking for when I'm tasting this?
Well, basically here what you're going to feel, you're going to feel mostly the herb. So it's kind of a sweet and mellow herb, and the taste of the espadín is quite it's quite soft, let's say. So the trick about this one is having a few. Yes, and having them in a very good company and enjoying it, because it's a magic mezcal for sure.
So, cheers, salud, right? Verdad? Okay.
Salud.
So yeah, this was really light.
Have a second sip.
Should I have a second sip? Okay, here we go.
Now you can feel a little bit more the expressions of the mezcal.
Yeah, it's very light. Like I think for me, I mean, I've only had, again, one mezcal tasting. I've tried it a couple times, but I'm just going to go out and say this one's my favorite so far. So does anyone else want to tell us or, help us choose which one to taste next? Let me show you the bottles again and see what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. All right, let's give people some time to weigh in. So should we go for this green bottle, the middle red and clear bottle with the white label, or this one? So we have a question from Dasuke Yano, who's asking about what is this, the cup or what we just drank out of in the mezcal flight? What is it made out of?
Well, they're like squashes, like they are woman-shaped. These kind of squashes were used like for thousands of years to keep water. So basically what they do is they cut them in halves. They're called jicaras, and it's one of the most traditional ways of drinking mezcal.
Very cool.
Jicaras.
Okay, let me scroll through the comments and see if anyone let us know which one they want to try, or it'll just be Nilu's choice and I will decide. Okay, yes. So Tom Anderson says the green label. So I guess this guy, which is more turquoise, but in our lighting it definitely looks green.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the light, guys. No. So, very interesting. This mezcal is from Oaxaca. Oaxaca is the main producer. Sorry, guys. Oaxaca is the main producer of mezcal. But, as I told you, there are 6 more states apart from Oaxaca. This mezcal comes from Guerrero, and it's called cupriata. That's the name of the agave. One of the basics, I don't know how to say in English, definitions about cupriata, it's very, very, very green, because the soil is so different from Oaxaca. In Guerrero you have a little bit more of green. So the body of the mezcal is a little bit heavier, and if you can see it in the light, which is for sure not today's situation, you will see the color is a very little greener than the rest of the mezcals.
We had a good question here. Let me pull it up before we do this taste. Rafael Gontillo Lopez asks, what is a good food pairing for mezcal?
Well, that's a very good question. It depends on the agave. I would recommend, of course, traditional Mexican Oaxacan food. It's very good. Moles are amazing. Cochinita, pigs made in barbecue are very good as well. I love mezcal with chocolate, with hot chocolate as well. It's amazing. And what else? Maybe with some meats. Of course, not with pasta. It has to be food that is maybe produced in the same land as the mezcal. You know what I mean? Maybe heavy flavors, spiced Mexican flavors. Those are amazing for mezcal.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So let's taste this guy.
So this is a agave cupriata from Guerrero.
This definitely had a much more intense taste than the first one.
Can you feel that green situation? Always have one sip, and then in the other one, your pupils will. I don't know how to say in English. Your papillas will be ready, and you can feel like all the expressions, your taste buds.
Okay, cool.
Like, do not judge a mezcal by the first sip, such as many other things in life.
Cool. Okay. So this is the mezcal rule. You can't have just one sip if you want to taste it?
I mean, you cannot judge it only by the first sip. The first sip only makes your mouth and your senses to be ready for the second one. But only maybe in the third you can really get all that information. It's so complex that not in one you cannot just have it.
Okay, so I'm going to follow Maria's Mezcal rule and have a second taste.
Yay. What do you feel?
I think the second taste was a lot less intense.
Exactly.
I like it. It's almost, I don't know if this is the correct word, but it's almost earthier. That's the vibe I have.
It is earthier, yeah. I mean, we can give taste notes on mezcal, but I like to leave like up to the imagination. You know, like flavors are very connected to memories, to things we've tried, to moments we've lived. There are certain rules and certain things for every agave, but it's up to you.
Cool.
Basically.
Choose your own adventure. Okay, so in the spirit of choose your own adventure, we have two left. If you guys in the comments want to let us know, do you want to see the bottle on the left side of the frame tasted or the right side? I'll give you guys a few seconds to comment and I'll check and see which one you guys want us to try. Carrie Zad Brazil says yes from Oaxaca. Thank you for watching. Let's see which one you guys want us to try. Okay, so Mary Esther Salinas says she wants us to try the right, so maybe the one closest to the candle.
Yeah, Tobala. Beautiful. So Tobala. Oh my God! So it's as hard as agave. Okay. Tobala in Zapotec means hot maguey.
Means, what does it mean again?
Hot maguey.
Oh.
Maguey and agave are the same. Agave is a Greek name for magnificent, and maguey is a combination of two words. It's cooked agave, basically.
We have
Mezcal, I'm sorry. Mezcal, it's cooked maguey.
We have a good question says from Gerardo Contreras, who asked, can you mix it? So Gerardo, we're going to show off a mezcal cocktail at the end, so just stay tuned for that. So let's go ahead and taste this. I'm going to just turn the camera around on us.
Okay, this agave takes 17 years to grow. That's a lot of time. They're very small, and they have lots of spines, and they love to grow like very up in the mountain. They're super difficult to harvest, and they're wild. In Oaxaca, they're starting to domesticate them, very little by little. Tobala, it's a very special mezcal. It's one of the, by definition, one of the Oaxacan traditional mezcals. They are very small agaves, so it takes about 200 agaves to make one batch. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love to name him like a little punk. A little poet punk, because it's sweet and spicy and it's difficult, but it's an amazing mezcal. It's one of my favorites.
Ooh, okay, let me try this, guys. So again, mezcal, Maria's mezcal rules are you have to have more than one sip on your first try. So let's see. So this one on the first, oh sorry, can you hold this? So this one on the first taste is less intense than the, what was it, the green, more green?
Yes.
So let's go for taste number two,
Exactly.
as is the rule.
Funny thing is that the alcohol volume is much higher. We are talking about in between 49 to 50 AV volume, which is a lot.
So I think I don't know if it's just like the placebo effect, and because you said the alcohol content was higher, but I think on second taste, it's even more intense than the last one.
Yeah, it has something like of smoky chiles, ripe fruit. It's kind of tropical. You can feel like, I don't know, bananas, some tropical fruits, and some smoked chilies and spices.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give our last, get our
Cheers.
last mezcal in there. Cheers.
Cheers. So, our last mezcal. This is the king of mezcals. This.
Why is it the king?
Wow, because first of all, it's the agave used to produce mezcal that takes longer to grow.
Okay, let me just put this candle here. So how long does this kind of agave take to grow?
It takes up to 30 years, imagine. That's a lot.
So if anyone is just joining us, we are in Gitano Tulum, across the street from the beach here in Tulum, Mexico. We've been doing a mezcal tasting with Maria, who is the mezcal mama / head bartender here at Gitano Tulum. We're about to taste our last mezcal of our tasting flight, and so let us know if you have any mezcal-related questions.
Okay, so Tepeztate. This agave is huge. This is a huge agave. It's very beautiful. And it's very beautiful. It takes up to 30 years, as I said. This is a jewel. Basically, having a sip of this, it's a blessing. Like, imagine having agaves growing 30 years with all soil information, all that earth information. It's a magnificent species, it's a magnificent plant, and it's a very wise plant. I really like, this is a mezcal to have with connoisseurs. It's not like a party mezcal, it's like having the best scotch of your life, or something like that. And yeah, it takes you to this very nice state of mind, believe me. Every agave has its own particularities. Tepeztate is an agave for thinkers and for really special moments.
Okay, so pressure's on.
Yeah.
Pressure is on. Okay, let's see. Okay.
It's like humid soil.
Let's hear for a second.
What are your impressions tonight?
So it doesn't have as strong as like a bite as the last two. So it's pretty light, but then it kind of leaves a pretty strong flavor in your mouth afterwards. It's a little spicy.
It's a little citric, a little floral. I mean, it's strong, but it's soft at the same time. It's floral and citric in the end, and in the beginning it's like maybe a little bit muddy and wet soil, and a little bit more earthy, and then it comes to a floral citric final touch.
So Lisa Hutterlatch says, "Oh, I'd like to have a sip too. Maybe live stream will have a live tasting option one day. We're not sure. So let me take the second sip just to see how the flavor changes." Let's grab this. So yeah, I think that for me, out of all of the mezcals we tasted, this one, the second sip, tastes the closest to the first, if that kind of makes sense.
Yes, that's very accurate.
So yeah, I like this one. It's light, but it has like a little bit of a kick at the end.
Yes, it has a lot of personality, but it's like a very wise person. It doesn't need to be like super show off because he's everything.
And what region is this from again?
This is from San Luis del Rio, from Tlacolula, South Oaxaca. Yeah.
Excellent. So we had a question earlier. Someone was asking us about whether or not you can mix mezcal. This one is definitely a sipping one, but was there a cocktail that you guys wanted to show of how mezcal would work in combination with different flavors?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, what we do is mixing the espadín, which is the mildest flavor and the easiest to harvest, grow, and produce. Because like mixing these is, I don't know, like mixing like the best scotch with the Coca-Cola, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these are like straight mezcals. But with espadín you can make a lot of cocktails. Actually, you have very good pairings in between rum or bourbon with mezcal, for example. So now we're gonna have one of our bartenders making a cocktail for all of you guys.
So yeah, again, for anyone just joining, we are at Gitano Tulum in Tulum, Mexico, just across the street from the beach here. We've been doing a mezcal tasting flight, and now the last thing we're going to do is kind of see what it's like in a cocktail. So these ones that we've tried before are ones that you want to have alone. You don't really want to mix it. But yeah, so we're going to see how you can combine different flavors with mezcal. Cool. Hello.
So she's gonna make a cocktail with fresh guava, a little bit of simple syrup, lime wedges. It's like a caipirinha style. You just muddle the fruits with the lime. You don't use lime juice at all. Everything we use at Gitano is fresh. The juices are made at the moment. The philosophy of our bar is being as natural as possible, respecting the flavors of the mezcal, not adding anything with colorants, conservants, just the fruits that we can get here, this beautiful land. So she's gonna put some bourbon, which goes very well with mezcal because of the sweetness and the wood situation.
Oh. I would think that it would be overpowering, but the flavors complement each other.
Sorry, and the mezcal. No? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For us, like using rum and using bourbon and having this woody, sugary situation with the mezcal always worked very well. And it's kind of a tiki thing we've been developing at our mixology at Gitano. The best shaker in Tulum, Ruby. And our garnish and part of the flavor, it's half a guava with a homemade vanilla elixir, which is beautiful. The vanilla is from Papantla. It's the best vanilla in the world, Mexican.
Oh, gracias. All right. Let's turn this. Okay, let's see one nice look at this cocktail here.
Sorry.
No problem. That Ruby made. Put some love into it. Very cool. Cool. All right. Take a sip. Yeah, that's really nice. It's not too sweet at all. The flavors are combined really well, and it's a completely different taste of mezcal than we had previously. So.
Yes, very different. And it's very nice. And it goes very well. We try to respect mezcal above everything on the cocktails.
Great. So thank you so much for showing us all of these mezcals. Do you want to say goodbye to everyone watching?
Thank you so much, and respect the plant and be conscious that what you are drinking is something unique, and sip it and don't drink it as if it was tequila, because it's not.
Awesome. So thank you again everyone for joining. If you have any other questions about mezcal, you can put them in the comments.